Welcome to the MarcWes Sports Podcast.
Here we go. All right, welcome to the MarcWes Sports Show midweek edition, where we give you the picks for the week from now until Saturday, and we also take a look back on what happened over the weekend.
You already know.
First and foremost, Wes, we want to get right into it. The obvious big news of the weekend was our guy, our dog now, Tagovailoa. You got to get the name right. Let me hear you say it, Brian. Can you say it?
Tua Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa. See, everybody gonna know how to say that name.
You already know.
Because he's the new reincarnation, hopefully, of Drew Brees, Dan Marino, and can take us, to the promised land. Young boy did his thing on Sunday. Both of us picked the Dolphins to at least cover. They did more than that. They won by 3 points against the Arizona Cardinals. And I can say it was an impressive win, an impressive fashion for Dolphins fans all over. You felt good about your team. You felt
like
good
a champ.
You felt good about your defense, making the stop at the end when it counted. And just like how you was texting me during the game, it was just like the NC State game with Miami. It was like the same situation. It was back and forth, and then the defense made the stop in the end for Miami to get the victory. So kudos to Tua and Dolphins and Flores. Flores ended up getting the game ball from Tua. So you already know what kind of person Tua is. And he seems like a real leader for this team. So the sky's the limit. And just like I was saying after that Rams game, if we win that Rams game, we making the playoffs for sure. Now I'm thinking, man, we might win the division. We might win the division right now because there's only one team in our way, and that's the Buffalo Bills. And they did win last week, and we both picked them to lose against Seattle.
Yeah, that was one of the wrong picks that we had, but it's all good though. As far as myself with the Miami Dolphins, like I told you guys, I said it in the last podcast that Tua was not going to have that much pressure on him. Me and Marcus kind of disagreed there. It don't matter because we won because we both Dolphin fans, but I remember saying that it probably was going to be like the North Carolina NC State game, going back and forth, because you got two quarterbacks, one that's a rookie, but he has the best percentage of accuracy in the NCAA history. And I told Marcus, like, yo, you got, Dan Marino's, you got the Joe Montanos, all these great quarterbacks came from the NCAA, and he has the record in accuracy. So I was like, yo, that's one thing. But then another thing I was saying, like, yo, Kyler Murray, he's like, yo, fuck Tua. Everybody talking about Tua, like, what about me, basically? You feel what I'm saying? And he had something to prove. Tua didn't want to be the bust. There was rumors swirling around that, it's a possibility that it's a audition to see if he's the quarterback, even though it probably was. I knew Brian Flores would have said, no, it's a lie, even though I think it was true. But still, regardless of the fact, I thought he was the quarterback, regardless of the fact, because when I seen him in Alabama, he just was accurate. Everybody says that Tua, he's questionable just because of he has all these five-star players, first-round picks, and I'm looking at it like, yo, regardless of the fact, he's accurate. You can't do anything with accuracy. You feel me? As far as it's just like a shooter in the NBA, like the shot is always going to be there. You're going to lose the speed. You're going to lose, certain attributes to your game as you get older. But being accurate as a passer, being a shooter as a basketball player, you're going to be in that league, whichever league you win, for a long time coming. So, again, you got the Miami Dolphins. It wound up being like the University of Miami. You see it behind me. It wound up being like that game. We wind up winning. The defense did their thing. There was a few questionable calls that I had, against our one of the best cornerbacks in the league, and Xavier Howard. He had 3 pass interferences one one of them, two of I think was questionable. One of them, I think it was a pass interference, but I think he should have had the better the
Doubt.
better. Uh,
The
excuse me.
benefit of the doubt.
Exactly, the benefit of the doubt. Why? Because I mean, he's one of the top two robberies corners in the NFL. I mean, Stephen Gilmore, I think, wind up passing him in interceptions in the league right now. I think he got five, and our guy got four. But I still remember that he could have had more. But still, regardless of the fact, everything that I'm saying, you got Tua doing his thing. I don't care how he won, because at the end of the day, I know the teams and the quarterbacks that have a rookie quarterback that have a defense that they can rely on, that don't put that much pressure on that quarterback, that has an O-line that's going to keep them upright. Um, I think those teams win Super Bowls compared to the guys that got a quarterback that's going to have the numbers.
Yeah.
He's going to do his thing, but remember, Dan Marino had the numbers, but you didn't have everything else around him. Right now, the Dolphins is built like a real team and not like a quarterback-driven team. They got the defense, they got the quarterback, they got the O-line, it seems right now. They're all like the age of 20 or 25. They're real young. Coach. Everybody kind of bought in, I thought it would have been a detriment to the team if Minkah Fitzpatrick left. It wound up being a positive. We wind up using those picks to get other players that wind up buying in. And it seemed like it's going the way that I thought it would, because you got to understand, I'm a fan also. We know that Marcus, he's really a fan and an analyst. He does this, work-wise. But still, as a Dolphin fan, knowing that we've been losing for the longest year after year after year, like 19 years of losing to the Patriots and not making the playoffs, and not knowing who's the quarterback or who's the coach, or something's going wrong, and for it to be going right now, I just feel good right now. I'm gonna hit it back to you.
Yeah, I mean the Dolphins are definitely trending in the right direction, and it's great to see finally. Yeah, just like you, Wes, I'm a fan, from day one. So just to kind of see the Dolphins finally look like they're on that upward projection, it is great to see. And just to touch on a couple of things that you said, Xavier Howard, although he did have those pass interference, and I would say all of them were pretty much kind of questionable. I felt like he had a pretty good game.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
of course.
played against DeAndre Hopkins, who arguably won, or he's probably number one or number two as far as the best receiver right now, as far as stats are concerned. And he only had 3 catches the whole game.
Exactly. He held him
Sometimes,
down the first half, like really held him down truly the first half. I think he had no catches the first half, you know.
yeah, I think he did. I think you're right. I don't think he had a catch in that first half, and that's what you want from a lockdown corner. You want him to lock down their best receiver. I mean, even if you feel like it's a close situation where you might have to grab him, go ahead and grab him. It's better than giving up a touchdown. I
Exactly.
mean, so I feel like you can feel real strongly about this defense, about these corners, about Xavier Howard. You need that in this league. It's one of those positions that you got to pay in this league. And that's why the Dolphins went out and paid for 2 good corners, because they're hard to find. And there's a few positions you got to pay for. You got to pay for a quarterback. You got to pay for a cornerback. You got to pay for a pass rusher and probably an offensive lineman. Everything else is kind of like, interchangeable. You can get from the low
Exactly.
somewhere, draft pick or whatnot. So you got to feel strongly about that. And of course, Tua is accurate as hell. I mean, like, he threw on the run, he threw from the pocket, and he was just accurate with the deep ball as well. The one thing that does make me nervous though about Tua is when he comes out of the pocket, because he did have that one little Sports Center moment where he juked the guy out of his shoes basically. But after that, he didn't slide, which one tells me, okay, I understand you trying to get the most yards that you can in that situation. But secondly, you are franchise quarterback. You got to slide, brother. You've already had an injury, a hip injury.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. I feel you. I feel you.
you gotta
I feel you.
slide. You gotta stay healthy. That's the only thing with Tua. Just slide, stay healthy. And just like we were saying before this game, we were like, oh, this is the game where we gotta see something from Tua. And we got that from Tua. And we also said we gotta see him make plays with his feet. And we saw that from Tua as well against arguably one of the best teams that would likely make the playoffs this year in the Arizona Cardinals. So gotta love what I saw from the Dolphins. What else you got on that game? Or we
On
moving
that
to
game, I think it's something that we're gonna address in the off season. Of course, I like the guy, but Preston Williams, man, like damn, we
um,
got him on the cheap
got
because
hurt?
of whatever happened to him, like in the NCAA. But like damn, he keep getting injured, and I understand the guy got grabbed his foot. I'm not sure, there's speculation that he got injured during the celebration, but like me looking at the guy
In
after he
the
jumped,
footage,
hurdled him, and grabbed his actual ankles, he probably would have got injured from there. But I'm just like, damn, like he a beast. He was doing his thing in the game, and of course he got injured. Just like last year, he had 2 touchdowns in the first half before he actually got injured with the ACL tear. Um, I'm just hoping that right now, the Dolphins is not thinking about moving past him. I'm hoping that these injuries right now work in the Dolphins' favor and we could get him at a reasonable contract when he do wind up coming up, because I do understand Devontae Parker was injured a lot and they gave him a shot, and look what we got from him. I don't want to go ahead and move on from him sooner than later. Of course, we got some wide receivers that's going to be coming back as far as Wilson, because he didn't want to play in the league because of COVID and stuff like that. I think we have one more wide receiver coming back. I'm not sure what's his
forgot about
name.
Albert Wilson. That's right.
You know,
So
so it's a lot of things that the Dolphins may need to address. Of course, Albert Wilson. You remember that play he had last year with Grant. And both of them was high fiving down the sideline. He's a fast receiver. We still got him for cheap. I know the Dolphins in this draft. They're probably gonna grab somebody from Alabama to pair up with Tua. Someone that's fast, someone like a Grant that's on the Dolphins right now. I think we don't need to worry about Grant. He's showing that he could be a slot receiver, but he's definitely deadly on the outside of the on the sideline. But I'm just hoping that we keep this core together. I'm hoping that if we do wind up getting somebody, we wind up getting a pass rusher first. But I do understand if we need to get a wide receiver, and if we do get a wide receiver, we need someone big like Devontae Parker and Preston Williams. So just in case one of these two players that do have a history for being injured, we have someone with that stature, not just the speed, but the height, that'll be able to, give to some jump ball situations. But other than that, Dolphins, they did their thing that game. And I can't say anything else about the Dolphins because it just was so much of a team game. It was not one-sided. The quarterback played well. The O-line gave him some time. The D-line did their thing. Of course, I know it don't look like that because you playing Kyler Murray. He's like Elian Gonzalez in cartoons, is find a way to get out of situations,
you mean
and
Speedy Gonzalez, not Elliot
yes. Oh
Gonzalez.
yeah, Speedy Gonzalez. Speedy is Gonzalez. You feel me? Yeah, that just shows we motherfucking get it old now. But yeah, still, regardless of the fact, um, this was a good game for me. It's always a good game when the city of Miami get a win from whichever team. You win, Dolphins, Canes, whatever, it don't matter. So
Yeah, I believe that, man. When you was like Elian Gonzalez, I'm like, hold on, he's about to get deported. What?
but yeah,
Like, hold on, man.
nah.
But yeah, great win for the Dolphins. Also a great win that we already talked about with the Hurricanes last week. So we're gonna transition into college football. Just one college game that we'll talk about from last week and just the impact it has on college football moving forward. And it's the fact that the number one team in the nation, Clemson, lost last week to Notre Dame. Now, we all know Trevor Lawrence, Sunshine, didn't play in this game. So that is, of course, the main excuse in the world of why they lost, because it still was a close game late. but what does this really kind of say for their championship hopes, for the ACC hopes? It's really in jeopardy right now. Also for the Hurricanes as well, because we actually needed Clemson to win because our one loss,
Exactly. You feel me? Oh my
yeah,
God.
our one loss was to Clemson. So now we basically need Clemson to lose another game this season, which is highly unlikely because I'm sure Trevor's going to be coming back not this week because they're on a bye, but maybe next week. And he's just going to run through those last few teams he's got to play. So even if we win out and Clemson wins out and Notre Dame wins out, we're going to be left out, unfortunately. So we have to hope that Clemson loses another game at some point. And if we win out, then we'll play Notre Dame in the AC championship game, which sounds great though. Like
Yeah, I
sounds
wouldn't
great,
mind mopping them
you know,
motherfuckers because I think
because
we could beat Notre Dame garbage
hell
ass.
yeah, I think we can beat Notre Dame because hey, today is actually the anniversary of the 41-8 game, the last time we played Notre Dame.
Oh
By the
yeah.
way. Yeah, so that was the last time where you puffed out your chest as a Hurricanes fan was like, yeah, we mocked Notre Dame
Oh
on
yeah.
national TV.
Oh yeah.
When game day was here and all of that.
I was
So
at the game. You feel me?
oh,
So
that's right.
me
You
and
were
me and
at
me
the
and
game.
Chris was at the game. Like
Yeah,
so you know, like trust me, that was one of the best
I
games
like
I ever been. Of course, you know, I'm a season ticket holder. You know,
yeah,
I'm loyal over here. And when it involves the Canes, you know, this year I haven't got no season tickets, of course, because of COVID. But when we went
right.
to that game, like the stadium was shaking. I haven't felt the stadium. I never felt Dolphin Stadium shake at no Dolphins game, no nothing. You know, I felt the stadium shake when I went to the Orange Bowl, back when the
Yeah,
Canes were back in Coral Gables.
a
But
good
but
old
but
UB.
the yeah, exactly. But you know, the stadium was shaking. You know, like it's like when you was in a car and it got like four four 20s in the back, you know, and it's just blasted all the way up, like for real, like you could feel your feet, your body, everything. But yeah, it was a great experience. Now going back to the game that Marcus was referring to as far as the Clemson and Notre Dame game. I mean, I was wrong. I said it was going to be a shootout. You know, I just thought that I forgot his name. Well, I didn't forget his name. I just can't pronounce his name, so I'm not gonna try to say that. But
I
the
still can't
quarterback
say his name
for
either.
Clemson, I said that you know
His
it
name
was his
his
time.
name is DJ, so just roll with DJ for now.
All right, DJ. So, you know, DJ, I said that he was going to go back and forth with that team. He was going to shoot it out. He know that Trevor Lawrence is going in the draft. So it's his team to take, you know, really it's his time to shine right now. You know, of course, you're Clemson. You're not one of them teams that can make mistake. You're number one. Of course, he has some mistakes in the game. Both teams have mistakes in the game, but it still was a close game. Really, I think that Notre Dame wound up pulling it off because they have the cohesiveness, and you was a quarterback that got thrown in the fire, and this is your second week actually playing because Trevor Lawrence is actually injured. But I still feel you. You know, you had a good game. I was disappointed that you guys lost because, of course, my team behind me, University of Miami, it's not looking good for us right now unless you wind up losing one more game. I'm not sure, Marcus, if didn't Notre Dame is undefeated.
Yeah, they're undefeated.
Ah, fuck. So, all right. And how many games we have left in the season? I'm not sure. We have like maybe like 4 or 5 games less, possibly. I don't think that Notre Dame's gonna lose 2 more games in the schedule. If it happens, cool. But I really want Clemson to lose because I really think we have a better chance of beating Notre Dame in the ACC championship game if it wind up going that way. Um, Me personally, I don't mind that it happened because, like I told you, I always look forward. You know, my name is Wester Damas. I always look forward ahead and recruits and draft picks and everything like that. So again, if we wind up winning out, regardless of the fact if we make a bowl game, you know, those 5-star, 4-star players will probably wind up staying home or probably wind up flipping because hopefully if we could wind up keeping Derek King for one more year, and I heard he said he don't mind playing another year. Especially, I think he would play another year if he was not able to play in the ACC title game. That was one of the reasons he came to Miami, to be in that on that big stage. And if you got it taken away from you and you did what you were supposed to do, lost only one game, hopefully I don't jinx him and win out. I think that it's a possibility that he do come back because he want to show what's really good, and he probably have some new freshmen that probably flipped, or some new seniors that see what he can actually do. And because Miami's number one in the transfer portal, and we'll probably wind up getting some players that can add to a good thing for De'Aaron King and the Miami Hurricanes. So it's just
Yeah.
Clemson need to lose one more game.
Yeah, hopefully that happens. We'll see. It's highly unlikely. But we'll see. Anything can happen in this COVID year because I think
Exactly.
players who are key players might catch COVID. You just never know what can happen in this season. But we are hoping for the best. But we definitely got set back a little bit with that Notre Dame win. I mean, the freshman from Clemson did play pretty well. Um,
Exactly.
he stepped in. And I mean, he's a true freshman, so he was playing high school last season.
Hmm.
So I mean, not every great quarterback is, jumps out the gate and is great. But as you saw in his first game, he was just kind of average. But he had a big jump from his first start to his second.
Got his
So I
feet
think,
wet.
yeah, Clemson, they got another good quarterback for the next couple years. Unfortunately, even when Trevor loses. Not losing, but even when Trevor leaves to go to
The
maybe
NFL.
the New York Jets, and
No,
that's transitions me to that
we can't.
Monday
No, no,
night.
no. Wait. No, no, no. Don't say that, because we're not trying to push this into existence. I was always a firm believer that when you speak things, you speak them into existence. So again, we're gonna speak that they're gonna go and he's gonna go in the draft. We won't say any team that he possibly going on, because we do not need that happening. Why?
Yeah,
Because I do not want to see him in college, and then I don't want to see him now in the NFL with the Miami Dolphins. And no, I don't need that. I'm sorry, please.
yeah, but we'll see because last Monday, the Jets did lose again. They had a chance, just like I was saying on the podcast, that they had a chance to beat the Patriots, and they almost pulled it off. And just like I said, New England pulled it out in the end. So they literally, if the draft started today, yes, that's exactly what happened. I won't mention it again because I don't want to happen. Although the other teams that are around them, it's like you don't really want them to go to them teams either, like Dallas or
I don't mind him going to Dallas because he in the NFC.
Jacksonville. Those are the kind of the three contenders right now. But
NFC.
hopefully he just stays away from the Jets. So I mean, that Monday night game, it was sad for them because you had two garbage teams playing on Monday night. Cam Newton finally showed you something that he can lead you to victory and not fumble the ball like he did in the last game, or can't get the touchdown like he did in the game against the Seahawks. So the Patriots are a team that is not making the playoffs this year, from what I've seen. Because if you're struggling with the Jets, then you got a problem. You got issues. You got deeper issues. There's definitely a talent gap from last year to this year, and they are the third best team in the AFC East, behind the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. So I think it's the end of the New England Patriots,
Thank
to
you.
be honest. Even though they won the game, but like I just said, it was the worst team in the league, and it wasn't against their best quarterback. Joe Flacco played in that game. So if you're struggling, there's some deeper problems going on with that team, and I am gonna say I'm very happy to say that the New England dynasty
It's over.
is.
Yes. That game was like hard to watch. Of course, I really wasn't really watching the game. I kind of was scrolling back and forth. My wife was not trying to watch that game anyway. She hates the Patriots just as much as
I
me.
don't blame him. I don't blame him at
so
all.
so so and of course she hates the Jets. So she go off my energy, and she don't really watch football like that, but she know the two teams that I hate is the
Feel that
Jets
energy.
and the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick and Bill Belichick and Tom Shady. So that game was hard to watch, but still, regardless of the fact, I was hoping that New England actually lost, so the Jets would actually win the game and not have a number one pick for whoever quarterback come out as first. There's a possibility you could get Trevor Lawrence or Fields. But of course, hopefully it wind up turning around because they signed a big deal with the head coach of the Jets. Gave him a lot of authority. He hired the general manager. And of course, when it don't normally work like that. The general manager normally hired the head coach. So when the head coach hires the general manager, that head coach got a lot of say in who you're picking, who should go, this, that, and the other. Because look, I basically looked out and got you a job. Hey, we'll see how it goes. Of course, like I said, their head coach got a hefty, long contract. And I don't know if you could fire a head coach like that, having to pay him regardless if you fire him.
Yeah,
So
you can. You definitely can. I
you
mean, with
can if you rich, but
yeah,
again, sometimes people will
exactly.
find a way to blame it on someone else, and that's what Adam Gase does. He always find a way to blame it on someone else. If it's not the quarterback, it's not because you're not. It's the defensive coach. The defensive coach and him is already having disputes. It was already swirls that they're having a little turmoil in there between the both of them. It seemed like one is probably trying to sabotage the other or something like that, whatever it is. Regardless of the fact, you got one head coach that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. We experienced him for years at the Miami Dolphins. Thank God we had him as a head coach because we wouldn't have Brian Flores. We wouldn't have Tua at the time, at right now. We wouldn't be in a situation where we're at now. Again, at the end of the day, like, do I feel happy that he's losing? Yes. Do I feel happy that the Dolphins are losing? Yes. But I don't want people to say fire him because at the end of the day, like, we know he's a garbage coach, Miami Dolphin fans, and we need him to stay at the helm for years to come. We need him.
That's a pipe dream, man. I mean, everybody can dream and hope that Adam Gase stays the coach, but it's not happening. Like, I was praying for Willie Taggart to stay at FSU, and
Yeah.
that didn't happen. So I mean, that's a dream, and I'll dream with you, Wes, but it's not happening. I mean, the fact that he is even a coach for the New York Jets after he was an abysmal coach with the Dolphins is just ridiculous. And there's probably some racial stuff that you can blame for that because you got coaches like Eric Bieniemy, who is one of the best assistant black coaches coaching for the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl champions, and for him to have a not have a head coaching job and Adam Gase does just makes no sense to me, and that has to be changed. And I don't understand why he's still coaching that team now. I say get him out right now. Yeah, I understand you paid him a lot of bread, but it's time to move on because there's no way in hell if you get, let's just say you get Justin Fields, let's not say Trevor. Why would you want Justin Fields to learn from this motherfucker? Hell no.
Hey,
Hell no.
everybody got a dream. I'm just dreaming a certain way as a Dolphin fan. But we're gonna go ahead and change the subject right now to upcoming games. We have the Titans and the Colts. That's coming on Thursday. We'll chime in a little bit. I think that the Colts is gonna win that game. They did. They played a real decent game too against the Baltimore Ravens, like we said. It was a real good game, a defensive game. Of course, Lamar Miller wind up, doing his thing. Lamar. Why am I saying Lamar Miller? What the hell? Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson wind up doing his thing in the game. but it really was the score may not speak for itself, but if you watch the game, both teams who they look like were and who they are.
Or
Um,
we thought they were.
who we thought they were. They did their thing. I think this game's gonna be a decent game. I'm gonna go ahead and say the Colts. I'll let you go ahead and elaborate a little bit more on that game because I think the Titans are frauds because of who?
Ryan
Tannehill.
Tannehill.
Tannehill. Again, regardless of the fact, when it ultimately come down to it, true colors always shine bright. Like I said, you got a good team. They got a decent running back, one of the probably best, if not the number one running back in the league right now. On pound for pound, height, weight, muscle, speed. They got Ryan Tannehill that don't be fucking up. It seemed like it's a new person right now. Like Steve Urkel, you got Steve Urkel, and then you got Stephon Urkel. We got Steve Urkel in Miami. It's like he's Stephon Urkel over there at the Titans.
Yeah.
So, but they've been playing decent. I don't really have too much negative things to say about that team, but not liking Ryan Tannehill because of my, experience with him. But the Colts, both teams seem like they were supposed to be rebuilding, but it don't seem like they're rebuilding right now because they seem like they got who they need. Of course, I think Phillip Rivers is going to retire. It's in their best interest to lose and not, be good because you're going to wind up having quarterbacks like Trubisky's and stuff like that because you won't have a high pick in the draft because of Phillip Rivers is winning games. But I'm going to go with the Colts.
Yeah, I think this is a game that the Titans really kind of bounce back in this game, actually. I think their receiver, A.J. Brown, to me is one of the most underrated receivers in this league right
Yes.
now. And Tannehill can't do it by himself. Obviously, he's got one of the best running backs in the league. Like you said, Derrick Henry from Florida out of Yulee has been dominant for a long time since Alabama, won the Heisman with Alabama. I really feel like he's going to be the difference in this game. And this is a close game. I mean, this is a coin flip game. If you pick the Colts, I understand. If you pick the Titans, I understand because they're both really good teams and they both do a lot of great things well. They both got some decent defenses. But when it comes to to me, it always comes down to star power, and I feel like Derrick Henry is the star, and he is going to be the difference in this game. Not Tannehill, of course, but I just feel like Derrick Henry is just going to be the difference when they need a yard or two, and he's going to be able to get a yard. And I think this is going to be a close game. I feel like it's going to come down to the wire. It's going to come down to the final drive.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I do trust Phillip Rivers with the ball in his hands over Tannehill, but on the other side, I feel like they just don't have enough playmakers, and that's where I feel like AJ Brown is going to be the difference. The other AB over there at Tennessee, I feel is going to be the difference in this game. And this game is at Pick'em too, so there's no spread on this game. So even Vegas thinks this game is going to be a toss up. So I feel like Tennessee wins this game in a close one by a field goal, last second, maybe in overtime.
I agree. All right,
That's
so
on that
so
game.
that's
What's the
going.
transition?
Okay, so that's going to go ahead and have us jump to the next game that we have coming up. It's going to be a Saturday game. It's going to be Arkansas, 3-3 Arkansas versus number 6, the Florida Gators. I mean, Florida Gators are doing their thing. Of course, I was wrong again. Now, it's not wrong because I'm picking them to lose. Remember, me and Marcus hate the Gators. So
Yeah,
we know that they're a good team,
we know
We,
they
we,
good.
we always say we hope that they lose,
We hope.
even though that we know they probably gonna win. Now again, right now, I thought COVID was gonna go ahead and have a problem with them. I thought Karma was gonna kick them in the pants, and Karma ain't do shit.
At
Karma,
least
they
not yet.
huh?
At least not yet. Maybe
Yeah,
in
not yet.
the
They're doing their thing. Last week we picked Georgia, and they put a foot in Georgia. Georgia could not stop the wheel route. Like, God, I'm like, damn. the wide receivers was just, I'm like, what the fuck is this right now? Like, and y'all rank like this? Y'all made me look crazy over here on my podcast. I'm over here giving y'all credit and at least make it more of a close game. It's like y'all just had no answer for that Will Route and their wide receivers. It didn't matter. I knew it was coming. Everybody in the stadium knew it was coming. Everybody that was watching knew it was coming. You know, and you couldn't stop it. It was like no receiver, no defender was near him. He had like a 5, 6, 7 yard gap on you. It's like, of course, it's a touchdown. All he needed to do is just catch the ball, whichever receiver. So going to this game right now, I think they're gonna go ahead and keep doing what they're doing, even though I hope that they lose. They're going against a team that's 3-3. I guess whatever COVID's doing is not having a good outcome on their favor as like you and your team. But I think the Gators just gonna go ahead and hands down put a foot in their ass. It's gonna be done in the first half. You know, you're probably gonna wind up seeing second, third strength in the game. You know, reserve their players just in case they wind up making the playoffs, which it looked like they are gonna make the playoffs. So I got the Gators whooping Arkansas. So like hands down, it's gonna be like a 40 to like maybe 10-point game. You know, I'm not even giving Arkansas no. I'm giving them nothing. 42 to 10.
Man, I hear you, but I disagree, and we disagree again. And I give you credit for picking the Gators because I know how you felt in your heart saying that. You know, it hurt a little bit. I know, but for me, like I feel like this is a game that Arkansas is going to keep close because of their quarterback. Now, their quarterback used to be the quarterback for the Gators, Felipe Franks, and he was actually the quarterback that beat the Canes last year in our season opener. So he's been playing pretty decent. You know, Arkansas's defense is not the best, so you know you're dependent on Franks to kind of win games, and I think they're 3-3 right now, something like that. So yeah, on paper, you think maybe Florida is gonna win this game because the way they looked against Georgia, they look great. They look great against other teams too, except for that one game at Texas A&M where they lost.
And against Miami last year.
Who?
The Gators.
No, yeah, the Gators beat us last year.
Yeah, but they weren't looking that great. It was a close game.
Yeah.
You know, like
that was a game that Kane should have won.
Yeah.
I mean, I was fortunate to be at that game on the field, and it was a bunch of Hurricane players at that game who were rooting for the Gators to lose against the Hurricanes, and unfortunately they lost. That was a game they should have won 100%. I blame it on the quarterback, and that's why we don't have that quarterback no more. And, anyways, that's another story for another podcast or whatever.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think Arkansas is. I'm gonna pick Arkansas to upset Florida because I know how you feeling. I see how you looking, but I'm gonna pick Arkansas to beat Florida in an upset this week because of Felipe Franks, because I feel like he knows the offense. He's gonna give Arkansas defense the tips to stop their offense on the other side. Now, what scares me is Kyle Trask, and I watched him a little bit last in that game against Georgia too, and I was pretty impressed with that quarterback. I feel like, okay, this guy's legit. You know, I feel like he can be, a decent quarterback down the line. He's still young, obviously, but they got some weapons on both sides. They seem pretty strong. I think they'll definitely challenge for the SEC championship against Alabama.
Okay.
It looks like that's going to be the game, Florida against Alabama. But I feel like they lose this game in a very close one. Comes down to a field goal as well. This is a primetime game on Saturday. It's pretty much the only game to really watch on Saturday too, because about 7 games are canceled or postponed because of COVID. So there's no Clemson. There's no Clemson because of a bye, but there's no Alabama. There's no Ohio State. A lot of these big teams are not playing, so there's no marquee game to really watch
with the
this
Canes
Saturday. So I like Arkansas, but of course, a marquee game to watch, of course, is the Hurricanes. They get Virginia Tech. with a noon kickoff, which always scared me. These early games, they always scare me, bro.
Me
Like
too.
every time they play in these early kickoffs, it's like these dudes are hung over from the night before every time. And they don't come out with that fire or, that hunger to really play very well. Virginia Tech is a tough place to play. It's always tough games for the most part against Virginia Tech. And Virginia Tech is coming off a really bad loss last week. I don't know if you saw this, Wes,
Nah.
but last week they lost against Liberty
Oh,
University. And yeah, Liberty is a decent team. Hugh Freeze, the ex-coach of Ole Miss, is actually the coach over there. But yeah, they lost against Liberty on a last-second field goal. They actually blocked the kick before, but they called a timeout, so the block didn't count. So they kicked the field goal, and Liberty ended up winning. So they are going to be hungry. You know what I'm saying? So that's why this game scares me to death, because Virginia Tech is going to be hungry to play well in this game. They're at home, and it's an early kickoff. So everything telling you stay away from this game if you were better, because it just in the past it doesn't go in our favor as a Hurricanes fan. But of course, the difference this year is one word: king, bro. As long as you got the king, you good to go, just like in chess. And and we got De'Ara King, bro, and he can pull out a win out of his ass if he needs to, and we might need to. I feel like this game is going to be a close game, as always. We never get like blowouts anymore where we could just sit down and just relax. This is not going to be one of those games, and we'll probably watch it together on Saturday.
yeah.
Because it's a noon kickoff, so we'll get to see that live and in person. But I think the Hurricanes, because of King, pull out the victory with a Borregales field goal at the end.
Okay. I think it's gonna be a close game. Also, um, you got De'Ara King coming off one of his greatest games in Hurricane uniform. He wound up having a whole lot of touchdowns. Like it was a game that had me like on the edge of my seat the whole time. I was kind of getting aggravated because I'm like getting mad at the defense. Like, how you leaving these motherfuckers open? Like, how do you let him do this, that, and the other? Like, if we lost, I really would have been upset, but we wound up pulling it off, not going to a game with Arkansas, not Arkansas, but Virginia. I think it's really going to be a close game. Every time we play Virginia, it's a close game. They always have a running quarterback, and like the Dolphins and the Canes don't do great with running quarterbacks. That's just point blank period. I don't know what it is. We have the athletes, but when they go against someone like them that could run just like them and stuff like that and could break down defenses off their legs because everybody's covered. I don't know. Right now I'm always gonna go with the Canes. I'm one of the soldiers on the field. Of course, you got De'Ara King. He's your king, and of course, everybody know you need a queen to protect that king on the chessboard. You want to make sure that everybody
You act
is
like you play
protected.
chess. Do you play chess, Wes?
I love saying,
Oh,
love
we got
saying.
to do that, man. I play chess
You
too.
feel
We got
me?
to go
But
ahead.
but but yeah, I think it's gonna be a close game. Of course, I'm gonna go with the Canes. Um, I don't think it's gonna be a high-powered offense like we've been seeing the last couple of weeks. Of course, Marcus said that Virginia lost last week to Liberty. Now it could be a good thing, meaning they garbage as fuck, or it could be a bad thing, whereas they had a bad game and now the coach wind up, ripping them a new asshole, and now they're trying to work their magic on the Kings now to bounce back. A team that's ranked. I think are we ranked top 10 now? I think we moved up a
Yeah,
little bit.
nice.
So we're ninth right now. What bigger and better win to lose to a garbage team like Liberty, but win against the Canes and the Canes right now we're vulnerable. Our wide receivers is not the greatest thing in the world. Of course, they did good last week, But
They
we
finally
need we
stepped up last week, though.
we need more wide receivers like the Andre Johnsons. That's big as fucking. That's gonna muscle motherfuckers. But regardless of the fact, it's gonna be a close game, and I still pick the Canes. So that's gonna end that little chapter. We're gonna go ahead and now switch up to the Benjamin report. I know Benjamin got a few games right now that he want to talk about. If
Yeah,
not,
just a
two of the
couple of
games, the two
games.
bowl games that we got coming up right now in Miami, Florida. I'm
Yeah,
heading off to you.
yeah, just a couple of games to watch this week. The Tri-County um, Championship is still in effect, so we'll look forward to that in a couple weeks. And a couple of teams that will be in contention for that is Columbus and guess who? Though NMB, bro, North Miami Beach, my
My
alma
alma
mater.
mater.
Everybody's alma mater who's involved with this podcast from North Miami Beach. They have a chance to make a big statement on Thursday night, tomorrow early. Actually, it's an early 5 o'clock game. So we'll see how well they play, and I'm
Hope it don't
rooting.
rain.
I mean, I'm rooting for them to play well, but Columbus is the 8A state champion, and they look pretty good last week against Miami High, and the week before against Booker T. So both teams do have a common opponent that they beat in Booker T. But Columbus actually, had an easier time with Booker T than NMB. It kind of came down to the last possession. So just because of that, I'm picking Columbus to win this game. They've got a really good quarterback that you need to look out for the future. Is Fernando Mendoza. Talk to this kid a lot. He's a really great kid. He's a pocket passer, great size, over 6 feet already. Wants a offer. So hopefully that can happen. But we'll see. But he is definitely one of the best quarterbacks to me in South Florida. So we'll see what he does against NMB tomorrow. So another game on tap is Gulliver against Pace. Gulliver, Sean Taylor went to Gulliver back in the day. They also have a really good team that can make a championship run. So we'll see what they do. That's the private school out of Pinecrest. Gulliver is. They got a really great quarterback in Carson Haggard, a really who can make plays, and then the running back Cedric Irvin Jr., the son of Cedric Irvin, who is a great running back here in South Florida, coach Southridge, and also played at Michigan State. So look out for him as well to make plays. I like Gulliver to beat Pace. Pace, I feel like just doesn't have enough athletes, although they do have Shamar Stewart, who is probably the best player, one of the best players in 2022 as far as size and just athletic ability. But can he really take over this game and win the game for Pace? I don't think so. So I think Gulliver wins that game. And the next game on deck is Deerfield and Blanche Ely, which is a big game in Pompano and Deerfield Beach. That's when everybody from the city and the hood comes through for this game. It's the McDougal Bowl. Deerfield has been dominating Ely for a while. A friend of mine is actually the head coach at Ely. He took over that program a couple years ago, and he's building it back up. Coach Wimberly, CJ. So I feel like they're going to challenge in this game because they're starting to get some D1 players now. Ely used to be good back in the day, but they fell off for like a few years. But Patrick Peterson went to Ely, so just gives you an idea just how good they used to be back in the day. But Deerfield is one of those teams that continues to produce great players, anywhere from Shoelace to Jason Pierre-Paul to Jerry Judy from last year. I mean, Deerfield Beach is just another program that will continue to produce great players. And it's the one school that just hasn't won a state championship yet or any significant championship. So they are a team that you want to look out for this year. And I feel like they're going to dominate Ely and beat them by at least, 3 touchdowns this weekend. So I think they, win the McDougal Bowl easy. But finally, those athletes get to play because they haven't even played a game yet since COVID.
Exactly.
So another game is the Muck Bowl over there in the Muck in Pahokee. You got Pahokee and Glade Central If you know about Muck City, you know how important this game is. This is another game where the whole city comes out and for this game. But Pahokee has not been as good as they have been in previous years. Glade Central is a team a couple of years ago beat Booker T in the playoffs, and they still continue to produce great players. I think Glade Central wins this one by about a 10-point margin on Friday night. So look out for Glade Central to beat Pahokee in the Muck Bowl. So that is the Benjamin Report for the games coming up in high school this week. Just a quick pick on the Shula Bowl. I know everybody, don't really watch FAU and FIU. A lot of local kids are on this team, but hopefully one day this game will be. It's the Shula Bowl. It's named after the great Don Shula.
Only reason people will watch.
But it is on Friday night. It will be televised. FAU has had FIU's number for the past couple of years, and I think FAU wins the Shula Bowl again this year. This game is down at FIU, but I think FAU beats FIU in the local rivalry game. Who you got? FIU, bro? Just give me a pick. Give me a pick,
I'm gonna pick FAU because Deion Sanders' son was gonna go over them. Obviously, he left, but I'm just gonna go ahead and pick him. Of course, I don't like both teams. I don't watch both teams. I like them better. I like them better than Florida State, but I'll just pick FAU because I know they got a bigger program from what it seems. And that's what I'm gonna give you on the Benjamin Report. FAU beats FIU, 28-16.
Yeah, I'll come with that. Bush Davis is still the coach over there at FIU, by the way. He's still trying to build that program, but it's gonna take a lot to really build FIU back up to where they used to be when T.Y. Hilton was playing over there. So that's going to be a wrap on the Benjamin Report for the midweek report, midweek podcast. Tune in to the next episode where we tackle all kinds of topics and give you that real.
And your ass can go ahead and use our picks to make a little bit of money on Saturday or Sundays. So yeah, this is going to be the end of the Benjamin Report in the MarcWes Podcast. Peace.